So here we are on to step 5 of the process of buying a house in North Carolina. Sometimes this is the longest process and can be the most grueling because sometimes you just feel like you're just sitting down twiddling your thumbs. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that's just out of our control. A lot of this is done on the back end between the lawyer or the mortgage person on the other end, underwriting, that kind of thing. That's just out of our control and we can't really do a whole lot about it. Right now, the attorneys should be looking into title. They don't do it immediately because they don't really want to waste their time if we get to a misunderstanding on repairs or things like that. But towards the end of the process, they start doing title work to tell, well, basically if the seller's actually on the property or if anybody else might have a claim to the property. This is also in the process, you might have heard of title insurance. This is basically if there's a hiccup in the what they call the chain of title. They don't want somebody else to be able to come back and claim the property 10 years down the road and be trying to take you into a lawsuit for the property that they quote unquote own. Title insurance is a few $100 depending on the cost of the property and how long it's been off the market. It's several different factors that determine the cost of title insurance. But when you look at a few $100 versus a few $100,000, it's a good investment and it's a one-time fee. Now is also a great time for you to start looking into your utilities. What internet provider, mainly nowadays, are you going to be using? Especially if you work from home, you want to be able to set this stuff up as you're moving in or maybe just a couple days after you move in. Let's go ahead and get the power situated. We want it cut on. Typically I try to have my sellers leave the power on a day or two after closing. It's just something nice to do. But then I tell my buyers to have it cut on a day before or the day of closing so that there's not any overlap where they have to go and pay a reconnection fee or something like that. A lot of times you can have us ask the listing agent who are the utilities through. They'll ask the seller and maybe we'll get a list of utilities, and hopefully it's really nice if they can provide monthly costs sometimes too. Now depending on where you live, I know around us some of the city things they require, I think water requires you to actually bring in something that shows that you own the property. So you may not be able to get everything cut on until you actually close and record. Actually have some paperwork showing you own the property. So some things are a little bit more particular, but most of your general service providers will go ahead and turn it on for you, even if you live there or not. Insurance is another one you need to look into. If you have it factored into your monthly, this can affect your monthly payment. So this way, you can shop around. Don't necessarily go for the cheapest insurance, but something that's affordable and gives you good coverage, especially when you're moving into an unknown residence that you maybe don't know some of the conditions of things. You want to make sure you're covered, but also not breaking the bank. But if you do go with a cheaper insurance and it's factored into your monthly payment, this will lower your monthly payment. Just something to think about that you actually have control over. You can shop back and forth and use any insurance provider that you choose. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there, you already got the house under contract. Let's say you've already planned out, I'm gonna have this bedroom suite, I'm gonna have this refrigerator, I'm gonna go buy this washer and dryer. I know exactly where everything's gonna go. And I also understand that in this time, you're probably walking around Lowe's or Home Depot or hardware store of your choice and looking at all these different appliances and imagine how nice they're going to look in your new home. But don't fall for the trick of getting discounts on credit cards and things like that you can sign up for. Or even if you plan to pay cash, sometimes moving large chunks of cash around and especially putting things on credit can really affect your credit score when you go to close. Sometimes they go to check that thing right before you close and you may no longer qualify for a house. So now all that planning, maybe your inspection report, appraisals, any other time and money you have invested is just out the window. Now, if you do plan to do some work to the house, maybe, for instance, a lot of them is paint and carpet, paint and flooring, things of that nature, now's a great time to go ahead and start lining up vendors, getting some quotes. If they know the square footage, they shouldn't have to really look at the property to tell you, hey, if it's going to be 700 square foot in carpet, it's going to be this price for something like that. So they should be able to at least give you some quotes, but now's a great time to go ahead and start lining those vendors up I know some people like to get this stuff done before they move into the house, especially paint and flooring, because, well, all your stuff is going to be sitting on the flooring and all your paint is going to be in front of the walls that you're going to be covering up. So some of this stuff is great, if you can do it, to go ahead and do it before you move in, and that way you're walking into a fresh house, new flooring, new paint for you to scratch up, or whatever you want to get done. This way you don't have to do it after you move in and you're already going to be in the hectic mess of packing things and putting things. Just have somebody else go ahead and get that done for you. Now you're almost on the home stretch. We got one more video after this one on what to do day of closing and what to expect. I look forward to seeing you on that video. I hope a couple of these videos are helpful too, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.